The human mind is wired for curiosity. We crave answers to the unknown, seeking to uncover the mysteries that lurk in the shadows. But some questions are better left unanswered. Some discoveries are not meant for us, because the deeper we dig, the more we risk finding something we never were supposed to see. And sometimes, all it takes is one wrong move, one touch of something out of place to invite something we can never undo. Not every mystery is meant to be solved. Some are meant to warn us. But will we listen? Or will our curiosity lead to something far worse? Let's find out. Hello, Paranormal Poet. I've debated sharing this story for a while now, but after hearing similar experiences on your channel, I figured it was time. My name is Cyrus, and in April of 2019, I went on a hike with my older brother. I won't share his name for privacy reasons, but what we encountered that day changed how we view the paranormal. We live in Kansas, and while most people think of endless fields, there are actually some forested trails if you know where to look. We found one close by and decided to make a day of it. Fresh air, some good exercise, nothing out of the ordinary. At least, that's what we thought. About an hour into our hike, we stumbled upon something that didn't belong. A clearing with dead tree logs arranged in a perfect circle. In the center, twigs and twine had been carefully placed, almost like some kind of ritual site. It didn't look old, but it didn't look brand new either. I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I reached down and picked up the twine. The moment my fingers wrapped around it, I felt this pressure in my chest. Not pain, but a dark, sinking feeling. It was like something heavy had suddenly latched onto me, and for a second I swore the air around us felt thicker. My brother must have sensed it too, because he muttered, "We shouldn't be here," and practically dragged me out of the clearing. We kept walking, trying to shake the feeling, but the woods felt different after that. Quieter. The kind of quiet that makes you feel like you're being watched. That's when we found the cave. It wasn't particularly large, but something about it felt wrong. Like the air inside was stale and unmoving. My brother dared me to check it out, and I stupidly took a few steps in. The second my foot crossed the threshold, I heard something shift in the darkness. A low, dragging sound, like something was walking towards me. I didn't wait to find out what it was. I turned and bolted, my brother right behind me. We didn't stop until we were out of the woods and back in the safety of our car. We laughed it off on the way home, chalking it up to paranoia. But that night, something would happen that neither of us could explain. Upon making it home that night, we both showered off the fear we definitely felt, and retired to our respective rooms. It was a rough night for me, but it was much more traumatic for my older brother. Let me explain. My brother, after being asleep for around 2 hours, woke up randomly around 3 a.m., except he was paralyzed. He couldn't move a muscle, and he described something that chilled me to the bone. He told me that he thought he was just dreaming at first, but as his eyes adjusted to the dark, he saw it. A tall, faceless entity standing in the corner of his room. It was so tall it had to hunch over, its head barely fitting under the ceiling. It didn't move, it didn't speak, it just watched him. He couldn't even scream. He just lay there, paralyzed in fear, waiting for it to disappear. And eventually, it did, fading into the darkness like it had never been there. The next morning, he looked sick. He barely spoke. When he finally told me what happened, we knew we had to do something. We blessed the house, burned sage, did everything we could think of, and after that, the presence seemed to be gone. To this day, I don't know what we disturbed in those woods. I don't know if it was the circle of dead trees, the twine, or the cave, but whatever it was, it followed us home. I've been on plenty of hikes since then, but I've learned one thing, most of all. If you come across something that feels wrong, something that looks out of place, don't touch it. You might not like what follows you back.